Lots of crypto traders are panic shorting Bitcoin right now. Will we have a short squeeze or can we continue in our downside movement? Let's analyze.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen of the Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise and let's analyze Bitcoin. First of all, let's understand what happened previously. We've been analyzing Bitcoin. I've told you 3 weeks ago that with the highest probability we will reclaim this resistance and start pumping higher towards $121,000 as the next price discovery target. After we have hit it, I've told you I want to see a retest, bearish retest, to make sure that this resistance is indeed pretty strong. After we have got that retest, we have started to create a head and shoulders pattern. This is left, this is the head, and this is right shoulder. As you can see, we have started to consolidate below this important resistance area for almost a month. And then I have told you, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. Right here we are having a big absorption of buying liquidity. Somebody big is selling. The probabilities are pointing for the bears from the swing trading perspective. Bang, bang, bang. Few days later, we have got absolutely rejected and we have started to calculate our price action development using Elliott wave theory. Let's take a look what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. I have told you that I want to see a proper reclaim and acceptance below the first wave, all right, and I want to see reclaim of the support into a resistance. Okay, so let's take a look what happened. We have dropped from $118,000 quite smoothly, all right. It wasn't that difficult. We have started to form leading diagonal right here. We have dropped by around 5%. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we will be talking about this important level. Are we shifting that into resistance? Can we continue to go towards $109,000, or there is going to be some wick out higher to liquidate all the short exposure right now that is in the market from the panic selling activity that happened after we have started to break below this low? We will analyze everything. We will go through multiple time frames, which is extremely important. And if you are not analyzing Bitcoin on multiple time frames, you don't know the context, you cannot understand what's going on, and you cannot basically predict the market with the highest possible probabilities. Also, we will take a look at some insider data, what's going on behind the scenes, for us to be able to understand again what's gonna happen next with the highest probability. So first of all, we will go quickly through everything, because I have been sharing with you everything when we have been consolidating right here from the whales perspective, what the whales are doing, right? So we have been taking a look at the cumulative volume delta versus spot exchange, okay? And I have told you, ladies and gentlemen, paradisers, the whales are extremely distributing their coins right here, okay? If we take a look at the futures exchange, the open interest been rising without the cumulative delta bullish support, and that resulted in a price continuation to the downside. And take a look how many longs we have been liquidating so far, okay? Let's take a look at some big buy walls and sell walls. Institutional buy wall is at around $112,000, 28 millions, but the most important one will be at that $109,000. As you can see, it's been pretty nicely defended from the spot exchange by around $30 million. From the upside perspective, we can see $119,000, 34 sell limit authorized there, and at $120,000 again also $34 million sell wall. So you can see this is one institution, okay? They've basically created two sell walls with the approximately same values. So as I have been telling you in the previous video, proper stop loss if you have been opening a short position during this consolidation is definitely above $120,000. It's been not only defended by big institutions, but I've also showed you the max pain of short positions, as you remember right here, right? So we have been going through it. If we take a look right now on the futures exchange, we are getting filled on some big buy limit orders. The order book is still there, ladies and gentlemen. So this is just increasing the probabilities that the panic shortings that been created during this candle right here, as you can see, the open interest went to the upside. However, the cumulative volume delta went to the downside. That means aggressive selling, right? So loads of panic selling happened at this candle, and if the market makers can start pushing to the upside, we will short squeeze those, all right? And it will nicely work with the Elliott wave theory count that I will be describing to you very, very soon. Let's take a look also what happened on the footprint. You know that I have been sharing with you this buying imbalances. This was basically nicely working with the absorption absorption of the aggressive buying, right? And after that, I've told you here somebody big is actually executing this buying liquidity. Somebody is selling, somebody is executing their sell limit orders, and who is providing them with the liquidity so they can execute their sell limit orders? Well, the FOMO retail who've been buying aggressively. So here we have got that absorption, and that was also one of the reasons why I started to dump in, and that's also the reason why I've told you that with the highest probability we will break this huge consolidation and continue to the downside, right? So let's take a look right now at the funding rates on the downside movement. They have got a little bit better. Okay, you can see some negatives numbers there. You can see the color is becoming quite green overall. All right, so that supports the bias that we might have, and we might need to have some short squeeze to get them back in a FOMO side, right? They will open again loads of long positions, and then we can start pushing to the downside again if we will be able to sustain the price action below the important resistance that I will be sharing with you. And thanks to the FOMO long positions, we will be able to push it again smoothly to the downside, because if we hit a liquidation level of one long position, the position will close and automatically open a sell, right? When you close a long position, you need to sell, and that basically will help to push the markets to the downside. If you take a look at the fear and greed index, you know how we have been updating the 80 and 20 extreme levels. We have hit the 80 at 4-hour time frame. On 4-hour time frame we had hit the 80 that basically very nicely confluenced with the resistance and with the FOMO buying absorption, right? As you can see right here, the price of Bitcoin was at around $119,000, and right now it's around 117 as we have went close to 20. I can also update you the daily. As you can see, we are still on the daily time frame in this kind of decline in the bearish trend, and you know exactly from the previous videos what does it mean for Bitcoin from the higher time frame perspective. Let's take a look right now at some technical analysis. You know that we are analyzing together this corrective ABC reactionary to the main trend wave, and with the highest probability we are finishing the B wave right now, and we will start the C wave, which will be a motive mode wave that will take us towards $44,000. However, there is also a possibility that if we can reclaim back this $121,000, this B wave can continue up to $135,000. That is why on the weekly time frame, this is ultra high time frame perspective, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's important to watch right now this ascending trend line. If this is going to be acting as a support and we will not be able to reclaim it the way we have beautifully reclaimed the ascending trend line right here on the daily time frame, I will be talking about that, it will mean this will be ABC and the C will need to continue towards $135,000. It will be very easy to say once we will see the confirmations and once we will see how the price action is reacting to this ascending trend line support. But what can we tell right now from the probabilities perspective is very clean, right? Shooting star candlestick right here, bearish engulfing candlestick afterwards. As you can see, shooting candlestick pattern right here. This is a classic pattern, reverse candlestick pattern, ladies and gentlemen. And when you see that after some uptrend, you should be aware that this is a warning sign that the market might start to reverse. If you also have the confluence of a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern with that, it increases the probabilities, right? So right here we have got a beautiful pattern, ladies and gentlemen, during the January, and that also helped us to understand that we are going to the downside. And as you know, with the ParadiseTeam VIPs, we have been trading the whole movement to the downside, and right here we have took our profit, right? And one of the signs for us to believe that we will go with the highest probability to the downside and the next major move after this consolidation will be to the downside was also this. It wasn't the only one, right? We are analyzing loads of data, but it was one of the 100s, right? And when you have loads of data, you can then understand the probabilities and position yourselves like a professional trader. So this was a shooting star candlestick pattern after some extended bullish trend, and after that we have also got bearish engulfing candlestick pattern afterwards that increased the probabilities. Right now, as you can see right here, we have got a shooting star candlestick pattern exactly at our $121,000 resistance. We have not got right after that a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern on the weekly time frame, but look at this one. If we will close it below $117,000, it will be a bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, and it will increase the probabilities that this ascending trend line will break. What does it mean? From a swing trading perspective, we will not be taking profit on our shorts positions that we have taken at the upside, right? At the resistance level. So this is what's professional trading about. You constantly monitoring the market and adjusting your probabilities, and based on that you manage your trades, you enter in or exit in more trades, less trades, etc. Okay, so this is from weekly time frame, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look what's going on the daily time frame. So first of all, you know this consolidation, right? We have been speaking about that. On the RSI indicator you can see the exaggerated bearish divergence. We have been talking about it as well, right? The price action been making equal highs, but the RSI indicator been making lower highs. What it is, it's a pretty nice bearish divergence, exaggerated bearish divergence. It basically says that we are making with the price equal highs, however the indicator is making lower highs. That means the bullish momentum is decreasing and the bears have an opportunity to take over. All right, one of the other confirmations, one of the other indices that bears will be stronger and they will have much more power in the upcoming time. Another thing was that we have been able to reclaim this ascending channel. You know that we are trading in this ABC formation. We have been able to predict where the C wave will finish by analyzing the start of the A wave, putting the slope to the bottom of the B wave. Then we have copied this slope of the trend line, we have placed it to the top of the A wave, we have extended that, and as you can see, that beautifully gave us the target of where the C wave of our ABC zigzag will end. After that we have also got this shooting star candlestick pattern, a beautiful bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, and it basically increased the probabilities. I have told you the bears are extremely aggressive right here. It basically increased the probabilities that after this consolidation we will continue to the downside, right? So it will not be a continuation pattern in a fourth impulsive wave, right? But it will be more like an ending diagonal, which is the fifth wave of our C wave, which is a motive mode wave impulse. So that increased the probabilities that we could have say this is not an ABC zigzag, or this is not an impulse, this is with the highest probability ABC zigzag, right? And that's what helped us to position ourselves perfectly. After that, another confirmation, and it's all about confirmations, ladies and gentlemen. So another confirmation was that I want to see the Bitcoin price to start turning this support. As you can see, it was working as a support right here and right here. I wanted to see that to start reclaiming that into a resistance. So a proper reclaim consists out of breakout with more than above volume, right? Take a look at that beautiful volume above moving average volume trend line, and after that I want to see on a low volume a retest, and we have got exactly that, right? So breakout, retest on a low volume, no bullish power whatsoever. We have confirmed this being an SR flip, okay, support resistance flip. It worked as a resistance and that basically confirmed the continuation to the downside, okay? So I mean reversal to the downside. After that I wanted to also get another confirmation of a breakout of our moving average trend line, right? And as you can see, as we are going to the downside, we are getting more and more confirmations, and that's basically making bears more and more confident. Right now we might have, however, some kind of retest of this moving average trend line and also possibly of this support zone, turning that into a resistance. Let's take a look at how this might be acting, ladies and gentlemen. You need to understand here's a very extremely important BPVR level. Let's take a look, let's zoom in inside of this price action on 4-hour time frame. So right here we have been analyzing the head and shoulders pattern and a possibility of this being an ending diagonal. It was visible on the 1-hour time frame. I will be talking about this one very soon. First of all, right now you need to understand that from the head and shoulders price action perspective, you know how to analyze the target of the head and shoulders breakout, right? So you measure the depth of the neckline between the head and you put it to the breakout point. That's how you get a target. Let's do exactly that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at the measurement. Let's take a look at the measurement, put it to the breakout point, and you can see that is perfectly targeting our liquidity pool right here, our liquidity zone at around $110,000-$109,000. This is going to be the next important, from the medium time frame perspective, demand zone. All right, so together with that we need to understand that right here we have not only got that absorption of buying pressure that I have been analyzing for you by looking at the footprints, but we have also got the bearish divergence, a double confirmation that basically increased the probabilities, right? I have told you here is extreme momentum, but the bulls are failing to make a clear higher high. That means somebody is executing the buying pressure and executing their sell limit orders on that, all right? Because loads of momentum, bulls are getting really exhausted, but they are failing to push the price action higher and create a higher high as the MACD indicator did. So that was another sign, given that this was important resistance 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, that we will have a reversal to the downside. Right now we can see that I've analyzed for you beautifully, and my Fibonacci retracement levels worked absolutely perfectly because it needs to be properly analyzed. I've heard lots of people telling me, oh, Fibonacci retracement levels not working very good for me, and it's because you cannot analyze them. So you need to basically analyze them. If you are watching my videos, you are absolutely perfect at this, right? Because what's important, it's basically you need to take some important section from the chart, from the price section. You cannot take something random like this and this, right? You need to take from the Elliott wave perspective some important wave and then analyze the whole section, all right, from the local bottom to the swing high. Okay, so this one is one of them, and as you can see 1.272 is one of the very important ones. All right, you also need to understand which Fibonacci retracement levels are less important, which are more important. The 618 and 0.618 are extremely important. The 272 and 786 are less important, but one of the strongest as well. And at the moment you can see the price, how beautifully it's reacting to our Fibonacci retracement level right here. And because we will be analyzing the Elliott waves on a lower time frame very soon, you will understand we are right now in a third lower time frame wave, all right, and this wave will end up right here or right here. Let's take a look what's higher probability, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at it right now. But before that, I also want to analyze the volume with you. This is one of the other thing I have been sharing with you, right? Because this also helps you to understand who is in power and where the next major move is going to be, right? So this was one of the other indications that helped us to understand that the probabilities are bigger for the bears. Take a look at the volume, ladies and gentlemen. On the upside movements, we are getting decline in volume, all right? Decline in volume, how it's visible right here. On the downside, we are getting increasement in volume. On the upside right here, again, decline in volume. On the downside right here, increasement in volume, all right? Upside, decline, and then again increase in volume on the downside. But basically analyzing this structure right here, you could predict again with the highest probability where the next biggest movement is going to be. Okay, so this is very important to understand. The volume is here for a reason. You need to analyze it properly if you want to make only the best highest probability trades in your swing trading strategy or scalp trading. So right now I have this neckline still green because I don't think this is the proper retest we should have. All right, I do believe there might be one more retest before we start getting towards our liquidity zone right here. It doesn't mean I'm long, ladies and gentlemen, but let's take a look what's going on 1 hour time frame. You can see right here from the MACD perspective, we are having a bullish divergence. As you can see, we are creating lower low, but right here on the MACD, we are on the MACD histogram, you can see a higher low. All right, this is a clear bullish divergence, and it increases the probabilities that we might have some price action to the upside. If we analyze the Elliott wave theory, so let's take a look. Ending diagonal, I've been updating you about this in the previous videos. This wasn't a deviation, this was a first wave. In the end, this is the secondary wave, and then we started a third wave, right? And the third wave, as you know from our website mycryptoparadise.com, is subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves because it's a motive mode wave, and it's always an impulse. All right, it's always an impulse. So 5 waves in the third wave itself, that's how you can tell it's a third wave and it's an impulse. You need to look for 5 smaller waves. So right here I can see 1 and 2, 3 is finishing, 4th will be right now, and then we will have a 5th right here, and this will be the higher degree 3rd wave. Then we will have the higher degree 4th wave, and then we will continue towards touching our liquidity pool at around $110,000, ladies and gentlemen, and even lower possibly. If we will get the proper touch on this 3rd wave, ladies and gentlemen, after that we will have a 4th wave, and then a 5th wave will end up much lower. Where? I will update you about that in the next videos. We will be analyzing the price section. As you know, I'm recording for you videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Smash the like button. Right now we are looking for a 4th wave, ladies and gentlemen, that can retest this 1st wave. Yeah, so if that's gonna happen, it will be retesting around $117,000. It will beautifully work with retesting the neckline. Okay, and after that we might have a continuation to the downside. Important thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that we cannot cross above this. We cannot cross above this. If we will start moving to the upside, all right, reclaiming this resistance into a support, I will be very, very aware of aggressive shorting. And if we will be able to reclaim the $118,000, I will be definitely looking for long positions. Until then, I'm treating the market as a bear. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, we have also got a beautiful confirmation of this being a first wave. It was a beautiful leading diagonal. As you know, the first wave of an impulse is also a motive mode wave, and it can be either impulse itself or it will subdivide itself into a leading diagonal, right? And because we have got this as a leading diagonal, it basically confirmed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a first wave. Then we have got the second wave, and now we are creating the lower time frame third wave. Ladies and gentlemen, right now you know exactly what we are waiting for, right? We are waiting for some bullish price action, okay? If we will get it, we might increase our short exposure right here after confirmations like a double top formation on a lower time frame, some bearish engulfing candlestick pattern, etc. I want to see some buy and absorption. We have loads of things what we are watching basically, right, with the Paradise team inside of ParadiseTeam VIP, and after that we will be able to increase our short exposure. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are enjoying these videos. Smash the like button and I will see you again on Tuesday. Cheers.